By now, you already know there's a lot of aftermarket lights for the 2008 to 2014 Subaru WRX and WRX STI. However, there's nothing that I've seen that comes quite close to this. This is the all-new Morimoto XB headlight for this Subaru, and not only is it brighter than your stock halogen lights or your OEM HID lights, but it also looks better. And in this video, I'm going to show you a couple of the features and just how much brighter this truly is. I want to dive in real quick to the features of these headlights because that's essentially why people buy this. You want to make your Subaru look much more modern, and this headlight right here, this Morimoto XB headlight, has a piano black look, so it really does achieve greatness when it comes to bringing this into the present day. Your old headlights look dated, they're dingy, they might even be scratched up or faded because of sun damage, so this is a really good upgrade. As you can see, when they are off, they look incredible, but I want to show you guys. Turn this thing on and you get this amazing animated startup sequence. You could choose to have that startup sequence with this plug on the back being plugged in. If you unplug it, it won't have a startup sequence, but I don't know who in the world would not want that cool startup sequence every time you start your vehicle or you hit the unlock button. Now, when you turn on the headlight, as you see here, this one bi-LED projector turns on. It does both low beam and high beam. So it's one projector that increases your light output tremendously. I'm gonna get to that in just a second. Apart from that super bright white LED projector, when you hit the turn signals, this whole area right here scrolls. It's got that scrolling effect, and that comes standard. So that really cool scrolling effect that we've grown to love at Headlight Revolution is now standard on the WRX headlights from Morimoto. In my opinion, that looks epic, and there's not a lot of other products out there that I've seen that can top what you see here. These also have a really bright daytime running light, or DRL. When you turn your headlights off and you're driving around during the day, these get really bright. This is a safety feature on these headlights, and to me, it's not only that, it's an aesthetic upgrade as well. This entire headlight assembly is an LED assembly, which means you're not changing out turn signal bulbs, low beam, and high beam. Guys, I want to show you just how much better this is in brightness. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this car, I'm going to back it up from the wall about 30 feet. I'm going to use a digital lux meter. This is to measure the actual usable brightness at a certain point on that wall. What I'm doing is trying to find the brightest point on the wall so I can compare one headlight to another. Now I'm going to compare this to the stock HID lights, which are pretty bright from the factory, but if you got the halogen lights on your vehicle, expect these numbers to be drastically different. Between you and I, these headlights are way brighter than the halogen lights. To install these headlights, they are super easy. They are a direct replacement for your factory headlights with plug-and-play connections. No modification is required. With this bi-LED projector, the optics meet and exceed all SAE, DOT, and FM VSS 108 standards. These headlights are produced from the best materials, backed with a 5-year warranty, and designed to comply with all standards. That 5-year warranty is not standard with other companies out there. A 5-year warranty from a headlight company is generally unheard of. If you have an STI, this is what your headlights look like. This uses an HID bulb in low beam. This is a low beam projector. So you do get those cutoff lines as you see on the wall right here. You also get a pretty tremendous width out of your original lights. If you have the halogen headlights, your light output is far worse than this. Using our digital lux meter, we read 370 maximum lux. Don't pay too much attention to the lux, pay more attention to the percent change in brightness from this headlight and the Morimoto XB headlight. When you turn on the Morimoto XB on low beam, we read 1,140 maximum lux at the brightest point, which is 208% brighter than your stock HID headlights. I advocate for a lot of lights out there, but this one's got to be about the easiest one. The light output is so much better. You got a bright white color and it's super wide. This thing blows your original headlights out of the water, and like I said, this doesn't even compare if you have the halogen lights. The difference would just be that much greater. Because these use LED projectors, they still have that great cutoff line and the width that you want, like you had in your original lights. But here's where things get really interesting. When you go to high beam, you have this absolutely ugly mix of bright white color and halogen color. As you can see, there's warm white in the middle, which is your high beams, and you still have your low beams on. To me, I have no idea how Subaru can look at this and say, yep, that's fine. Let's just leave halogen bulbs in the high beams on these headlights. We're gonna upgrade half the headlight and call it a day. Guys, this is terrible. Yes, you do get more light output. You get 970 maximum lux. That's what we read in this test. However, it looks terrible. Personally, if I had an STI right now, I would not ever hit high beam because it looks terrible. Even looking at the front of your vehicle, you have a white light and then a warm orange light. It's terrible. So this is what makes it so easy to advocate. If you have the XB LEDs on high beam, you don't have those two different distinct colors. You've just got that nice, bright, crispy white color. Not to mention that beam pattern is putting the light exactly where you need it down the road, so when you're driving at nighttime, you're getting that dramatic punch of light, and it's gonna keep you safer. These headlights aren't just about style, they're also about safety, and that's what we care about at Headlight Revolution. A product that's brighter, a product that's safer, and a product that is definitely cooler. The XB headlights are brighter, but not nearly as much as low beam. They're 17% brighter, and I read the same number at 1,140. That's because it was a bi-LED projector. That means it's the same light source for both low beam and high beam.
Let's get the hood pop, turn the wheel, that way we can access the inner fender liner. Move into the fender liner, you want to make sure you remove all 4 plastic clips on each side. This particular Subaru is missing one, but make sure you remove all 4. Some of the clips you might want to use a pry tool to pry it out. Go ahead and repeat these steps on the other side. For this next part, you're going to want to remove the bolts and clips underneath the front bumper, so grab a jack and jack it on up. Now we're underneath the front bumper. There are 2 clips on each side and 5 10mm bolts that you have to back out. Now back at the top underneath the hood, you have 4 plastic clips that you'll want to remove, and then you can start to pull the bumper off. Now to the side of the front bumper, you'll want to slowly pop it out. Don't go too fast as you might have to disconnect your fog lights. This Subaru does not have fog lights, so we're going to go ahead and install our XB LED fog lights. Now that we've got the front bumper off, you're going to want to remove the headlight by removing the 4 10mm bolts and the 1 clip. Now you want to slowly pull out the headlight to access the clip and the 2 wires. When you're disconnecting your factory headlights, you want to make sure that you locate the factory DRL control box located on the passenger side and disconnect the connector from it. Now with the headlight completely disconnected, you'll want to place this on a table to safely remove the headlight bracket. Before you put the headlight on the table, you want to lay down a cloth to ensure you don't scratch the lens. There are 3 10mm bolts you want to remove. Let's get started. You want to grab your brand new XB LED headlight, place the headlight on the cloth, and take off this nice cover. And now, just go ahead and install that bracket. Now that the bracket is installed to your brand new XB LED headlight, you want to locate the DRL harness, as we are then going to wire this from the headlight to the fuse box. Once you locate the fuse box located on the driver's side, you'll want to go ahead and pop off the cover. With the DRL harness in hand, you'll want to plug in the spade pin into the proper position and then run the shorter end of the DRL harness to the driver's side and then the longer end to the passenger side. Now with the DRL harness already ran, you can go ahead, grab the headlight, take it to the car, and plug in that harness. If you want the nifty startup sequence, you'll want to plug this in and then connect the rest of the connections. Since we're going to be using the startup sequence, we'll want to keep this connection connected. Just plug in the rest of the light, tighten those screws down, and your XB headlight is now installed.
Now I've been a Subaru fanboy for years now, and if I had a headlight that performed as good as this did back in 2013, 2014 on my WRX, I feel like I would have taken over the car scene. This thing is impressive. It looks wild on the front end of this Subaru. It performs better than any headlight that I've seen for the STI, and I know that you guys are going to be well off if you purchase something like this from headlightrevolution.com. Also, we sell a whole bunch of other products for this because we've tested it a lot. Go to type in your year, make and model, and you'll see everything there.